hope you guys are feeling good after yesterday's class. I have a fun sequence for you today focused on the journey towards crow pose. This is an arm balance. If you're not familiar with it, you'll see when we get there. We'll have lots of time to demo around it, but we'll do a little bit of work on strength and mobility to build up to it, and then a little bit of play in the arm balance and a nice cool down to come out of it. I have a block here for a bit of support during crow pose, and then a pillow also to act as a bit of a safety net for those of you who are maybe trying crow for the first time, or crow pose builds or creates a bit of fear in the body. So we have the pillow for a safe and soft landing, a block for support, and let's just see how we do. Move into this practice with an open heart and open mind. We'll just get curious in this playful sequence. Let's start in a reclined bound angle. So bring the soles of your feet together, knees open up. You can find any comfortable place for the arms to rest, no right or wrong. And just take a few breaths for yourself. Soften in, land in your body, check in with your body. And again, most of this sequence will be work specifically to prepare you to balance strength-wise and mobility-wise. And maybe this sparks some curiosity for you to add a bit more play into your practice. Slowly bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze in. Let's open up into a happy baby pose. So knees open up towards the armpits. Find a soft grip on the inside or the outside edge of each foot. If that is quite a reach today, grab for the ankles, the calves, or a soft grip in behind the knees. You can add some movement here, rock side to side, extend one leg out and then the other. Acknowledge what it feels like to be in compression in the hips. Okay, so this is a pretty similar sensation you'll feel when you begin to set up for crow pose. So we start to explore the space that we can move into here. And then with your next breath, can you slowly lower your feet down to the mat? We'll play with a gentle or maybe not so gentle, but a different core exercise to prepare for crow. So on your exhale breath, can you draw your knees in towards the body, not all the way like you're in your happy baby pose, but about towards where, just above the elbow. So right at your triceps, arms can reach forward. Okay. And then with your inhale breath, can you open up, send your arms overhead, reach your arms or send your legs forward, and then exhale breath, come back into that position. So this is almost like your crow pose. Okay. Inhale, open up. And exhale, squeeze in. When you come into this exhale, can you press your knees into your triceps as you activate your inner thighs as well as the core? Inhale to open. Exhale to squeeze in. Hey, this is tough, especially first thing in the practice. We're building up some heat and energy. Exhale, squeeze in. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Remember, squeeze your knees in. 1 more time, inhale, open. And then let's hold here. Stay as active as you can. Press through your palms, squeeze your knees in. Draw your navel to your spine. Hold, hold, hold. And slowly release. Knees to chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze in. Add a slight rock from side to side. And then take your hands to the back of your knees. Rock and roll along your spine to come through to a child's pose. Let's take a wide knee, child's pose. Knees meet the outer edges of the mat. Big toes meet near the back of the mat. Walk your hands towards the top of your space. You have another opportunity here to just anchor into your body, check in with how you feel. Maybe rock your forehead from side to side on your mat. And acknowledge again that compression in the hip joints. And with your next inhale, we'll come forward onto the palms and we'll set up for the foundation of crow pose with the arms, but we'll add some movement for mobility. So inhale breath. Can you shift your weight forward, turn the creases of your elbows slightly forward, and then lower your chest to hover. And we bend only 90 degrees into the elbow. So you can see my shoulder, my elbow are in one straight line. With your exhale, can you press back into your child's pose? Forehead meets the mat. Let's try that again, nice and slow. So we give the triceps, the biceps that opportunity to fire. Keep your gaze forward versus down to avoid falling into the mat. Slight lift up through your chest. And exhale, press back into child's pose. Let's try that a few more times. And the more comfortable you start to feel with this tricep hold, the more comfortable you'll start to feel when we begin to shift our balance into the hands. Eventually, we'll be balancing all of our weight here on the hands. Can you spread your fingertips nice and wide? Really grip into your fingertips. It'll help you with stability in the balance. Exhale, press back. Still breathing. Let's take 3 more. Inhale, shift forward. Remember, keep your gaze forward to avoid this. And exhale, press back, down dog. Or child's pose. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, press back. 1 more time. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, child's pose. Okay, let's meet in the center of the mat. Sit hips on heels. And let's take the hands, interlace the grip, and just roll up the wrists a few times. We'll need our wrists and that strength in the upper body to play around in crow pose. So give yourself an opportunity, just kind of flush out the joints. Okay. Let's come into downward facing dog. Root through your palms, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Okay. From down dog, can you lift your right leg up and back behind you? Bend your right knee, stack your hip. That might feel good after that first bit of compression work we did on the hip. Then come forward, bring your right knee to tap your right elbow or tricep. So see if you can actually bring your knee to meet. If you need to lower down on your left knee to hold here, take that modification. Keep your gaze slightly forward, and we want to avoid that kind of collapsing forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Kick up and back to your 3-leg down dog. And then look forward, step your right foot to the pinky side edge of your right hand, lizard pose. Okay, so we did this shape in yesterday's class as a bit of a warm-up to prepare for today. So give yourself an opportunity to kind of settle into what it feels like to be in this shape today. Maybe there's more space, or maybe you're feeling tight from the last few days of practice. Well, we have this opportunity to create some space in the hips while maintaining activation in the core. Draw your navel towards your spine. And you're welcome to take a twist here today. Anchor through your left palm. Roll to the pinky side edge of your right foot. Right hand will gently guide the right knee away from your body as you gaze over your right shoulder. Let's slowly come back through center. Right hand meets the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Take a big step forward now with your left foot to the pinky side edge of your left hand and come into a squat shape. Hands meet at heart center. Again, we did this yesterday, so check in with what it feels like to be in your body in this shape today. Maybe there's more space, or maybe there's some more resistance. Both are very possible. See if you can maintain length through your upper body. And we're just using this first one to mark. Okay, so the compression in the hips, core is on, spine is tall, shoulders down and back. Use your elbows to press into your knees, but for crow pose, we also want that activation of the inner thighs. So as your elbows press into that inner line of the leg, can you press your legs back into the elbows? So you should feel a fire sensation and activation in the inner thighs as well, and that lift again up through the midline of the body. Stay for one more inhale breath. Exhale, forward fold. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet in hip distance. Forward fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This is just to flush the body. Inhale, reach up. Hips move forward. Gentle back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back into your high plank. And lower your knees down to the mat. Now you're welcome to do our initial exercise forward into your chaturanga push-up, back into child's pose from the knees, okay? Option if you feel like you have a bit more strength in your body today, or you want that extra challenge, you'll do this through low plank with the knees lifted, press up and back to down dog. Number one thing I'd like you to focus on though is the integrity of the foundation for your crow pose, meaning spread your fingertips wide, grip into your fingertips. When you come forward, bend only to that 90 degree. Keep the gaze lifted to avoid collapsing into the chest. And then from that halfway point, press up and back while maintaining that strength through the core as well. So we'll do 5 rounds, whether you're on the knees or you are not on the knees. Let's start together in either a child's pose or a downward facing dog. With your inhale breath, shift forward to your chaturanga push-up, tricep push-up. Exhale will press you back, down dog or child's pose. That's 1. 2 more, inhale, shift forward. Okay, you might be off the knees. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Okay, 3 more, inhale, shift forward. Focus on the strength in the upper body and your core. Exhale, press back. 2 more, grip into your fingertips, especially if you're feeling any strain in the wrists. And exhale, press back. 1 more time, whether you're on the knees or not, maybe you give it a try 1 time on the knees. And then again, let's sit onto the knees, sit back onto the heels. And this time, let's interlace the grip, turn the palms forward. Inhale, open up, bring arms up overhead. You might add a gentle lateral stretch to the right and to the left. Maybe give your shoulders a gentle roll. Downward facing dog. Root through your palms, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Let's lift the left leg up and back. You have a moment to bend the left knee, stack the hip as you lift your left knee up towards the ceiling. Okay. Left knee to left elbow, tricep. Right away, you're welcome to drop the right knee, but focus on squeezing that knee in as tight as you can. Core is on, inner thighs are on. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Kick up and back, 3-leg down dog. Pigeon pose, the left side. Left foot steps to the left side edge. Lower your right knee on top of your foot. Okay. And then you get to stay here. Almost feels like a bit of recovery maybe. Relax your shoulders, lift your chest. You're welcome to explore the twist. Right hand down to the mat. Roll onto the pinky side edge of your left foot. Left hand will gently guide the knee away from the body. We're not forcing or pushing. It's just a really light pressure. And then slowly come back through center. Tuck your right toes. Squat at the top of your mat. Right foot to the pinky side edge of your right foot and sit down into your squat. Okay, hands at heart center. Shoulders get that nice big roll. Okay, and this time we'll actually play with a gentle weight transfer. So if you're here in your squat, actually if squat feels like quite a bit on your hips, I'll just demo here for you how a block can help you maybe find a bit more ease in the shape. So placing your block just underneath your sit bones, sitting back. Okay. Let's see if you can hold, again, the elbows and the inner thighs press in towards one another. So that activation into the midline. And then for those of you who'd like to try the weight transfer with me, okay, we'll take the hands onto the mat, and all I want you to do here is from your squat shape, can you shift your weight onto your hands? Maybe come up a bit onto the tippy toes and then all the way back into your squat pose. Okay, slow shift forward, elbows and knees are pressing in towards one another. Okay, and then press back. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhale, shift forward. Notice how gripping into your fingertips can help to stabilize. Exhale back. 4 more. Inhale, shift forward. And back. 3 more. Maybe you come up even higher onto your tiptoes and press back. What are we on? 2 more. And press back. Go 1 more time. Inhale, shift forward. And press back. Stay for an inhale breath. Forward fold. Lift your hips. Ooh. Enjoy that release. Heel to your feet in hip distance. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, slow fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. Squeeze your glutes as you move your hips forward. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay. Before we come into our play in crow pose, let's just take a few standing stretches. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Take a slow lateral stretch to the right as your upper body will hinge over to the right side. Inhale, come up through center. Try that on the other side. Slow hinge to the left. Let's take a slight back bend. Bring your hands to your low back. Give your shoulders a big roll. Squeeze your glutes. Send your hips forward and slowly round back. Come back up through center. Arms reach up. And exhale, slow fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, down dog or child's pose. Okay, take as many breaths as you need in your down dog or child's pose. And we'll begin our setup for crow. All right, so to set up for that sense of security, I have my pillow here. So any pillow works. You can use a blanket, you can use a bolster. And the point of it really is when you do start to play with your crow pose, if for any reason you do fall forward, we have that soft landing with the pillow, okay? That felt quite nice, no pain, all good. And then we'll actually try the first time coming into this with a block underneath our feet. So you'll place your block, let's say, looks like 2 palm or 2 hands back for me. You might need to play around with it a bit once you do start coming into this shape. Okay, so before we come into it, I'll just give you a quick demo of what we're looking for. So you'll set yourself up almost like your squat pose, but instead bringing the feet a little bit closer together, okay? Knees open up wide like in squat pose, but you might feel you have less compression now in the hips with the feet closer together. Just like we did in our tricep push-ups, modified or regular, we want to turn the creases of the elbows forward so that when we bend into the elbows, we maintain a bone stacking position from the wrist to the elbow. Okay, so that eventually the knees stack on our triceps, which continue the bone stacking of the knees and the hips, okay, to find that point of balance. Now, there are 2 ways that you can set up for the shape. Option 1, your knees will meet your triceps and squeeze in, like we've been doing a little bit of work in setup. Option 2 is actually bringing your knees instead of the outer line of the arm to the back of the tricep to, again, create that bone stacking position. So that's what I would recommend. It's a little bit nicer and safer on the joints, but it will depend on the range and the amount of compression you do have in the angle of your hip here, depending how much space you have, okay? So when you come into the shape, Your knees are either here at the triceps, try to get them up as high as you can, or you squeeze into here. Just be mindful of the pressure you are putting on your elbow joint. And the reason we'll use the block today is it actually brings you a little bit higher up from the ground. So we're already almost in that point of balance. Makes it a little bit less work on the core to help lift the legs up. So you can give it a try with the block. If you don't have the block, no worries. You can explore and play just fine without. It just requires a bit more of that strength to get to your point of balance. So let's start with the block on the mat. Pillow, prop, whatever you have for your fall. You might not even fall, so don't be too scared. Come up onto the block, feet together. Plant your palms flat to the mat, creases of your elbows turn forward. Elbows meet knees meet your triceps. Okay, the back or slightly to the side. And then let's all look forward. Begin to, like we did in our little exercise, just transfer your weight slowly. Find that rock. Maybe you pause when the hips are right up over your feet. Over your elbows. Okay, and then you can pause here or start to play lifting one foot off your block at a time. Okay, notice what happens if you drop your gaze. Okay, there's that slow fall forward. So play with lifting one foot up, then the other foot. If you fall forward, don't worry, you have a padded soft landing. Okay, and then eventually you might lift both toes up off the mat. Okay. Try to squeeze into your inner thighs, lift up through your hips, grip into your fingertips, keep your gaze forward. All right, I'll give you guys here a few more moments to play. If you're really getting into it, pause the video and take your time. If you have any questions about crow, this is a pretty quick tutorial. There's lots of options we can explore with from here, but I feel like it's a good place to start. You can comment on this video if anything came up or you're curious about how to take it a little bit further, or if you need some tips to work on from here. Okay. And give it a few different tries. Whether you're using the block here. Okay. Maybe you try it a couple times without using the block. Notice how the body needs to kind of tap in a little bit deeper to find that lift through the hips, that shift with the gaze and the core. Squeeze your inner thighs. Okay. Really nice work, you guys. Hopefully that all made sense, was easy to follow. And let's come on to our back when you're ready. Hey, let's take a few moments just to pause here. Feet flat to the mat, knees point up towards the ceiling. And open up your arms to a cactus shape. So we did a lot of work squeezing in, drawing in. Okay. So give yourself an opportunity now to kind of open up from all of that. And then quite a bit of compression in the front line of the body. So we'll take some bridge flow with breath. Bring your arms alongside your body, roll your shoulders under your back. With your inhale breath, squeeze your glutes, press into your feet, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Feel that opening through the front line. And exhale, slowly lower. A few more like that. Inhale breath, lift, and lower. Do this for as many rounds as you need to invite that space back into the front of the body to start to feel balanced out between the front and the back line of the body. When you're through, take a few rounds of breath in your reclined bound angle, similar to how we started. You can explore again that opening across the chest by taking your arms overhead out to a cactus. Maybe a lateral stretch from side to side feels good after all that work. Then you can open up into your Shavasana when you're ready to do so. Legs and arms extend out to either side of your space. Let your hips fall open with your toes falling open, shoulders roll open. And we just unwind from all of that work. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana for a little bit longer today if you can, especially if this was your first time playing around with crow pose. And just to give your body a few extra moments to unwind. And wherever you are, take a moment to thank yourself for the commitment and dedication to your 21 days of movement, showing up again on your mat today. Send out a silent thank you to others who are sharing in this journey with you. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this practice sparks some curiosity and excitement in your body, in your mind, in your practice. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Namaste.